Hello, students, and welcome to another wonderful day to learn something new in social studies with me, Mrs. Moncur. Today, we will be reviewing a few lessons on map skills. If you're ready, let's get started. Lesson 1, Map Scales. At the end of this lesson, students should be able to 1. Define and explain the purpose of map scales. 2. Identify 3 different types of map scales. And 3. Demonstrate the use of linear and bar scales. This sounds exciting already. What is a map scale? A map scale is the ratio between 2 sets of measurements. A scale helps us take real-life distances and measurements and fit them in a much smaller space. What is its purpose? Well, simply this. Map scales help you to measure distances on a map. It helps to measure the distance from one point to an X. 3 types of scales you should know are as follows. Number 1, word scale. Word scale uses words to show the relationship between map distances and real-life distances. Example, 1 inch equals 10 miles. Number 2, representative fraction. These are fractions that show relationship between map distances and real-life distances. Number 3, linear or bar scale. These may use a line or bar to show the relationship between map distances and real-life distances, as shown in the example. Just in case you're wondering how to use a linear or bar scale, stick with me and you will find out. Now you will need a few things. Item number 1, a strip of paper. Item number 2, a pencil. And item number 3, a map of the Bahamas found in one of your past PJC booklets. This is a perfect time to pause this video so that you will have all the things you need. Now let's get started. As you can see on this map of the Bahamas, each island has a black dot. The dot represents main settlements. When we are measuring, we measure from dot to dot or point to point. This helps with accuracy when we are measuring one point to the next. Let's watch a quick demonstration. Pay close attention. Okay, so we want to measure the distance from one point to the next. This here is in Andros, this here is Nicholstown, and this here is Governor's Harbor. So if I want to measure the distance between Nicholstown, Governor's Harbor, I must use the scale that's given to me on the map. Here you have miles, here you have kilometers. Let's just say the question asks for you to give it in miles. So your first point is to get a paper. Okay, now that we have our paper, now it's time for us to do the measurements. So we'll take our pencil and we'll mark where it says 0. We'll mark where it says 25. Mark where it says 50. Mark where it says 75. Mark where it says 100. Mark where it says 125. That's your second point. The third point is now we want to label. So that's 0, that's 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. And if you can guess or look carefully, it's counting in 25s. All right? So now at least we have the first plot. That's your step 2. So now we're ready for step 3. Step 3 is now we're going to take the paper and we're going to line up the point 0 to the point where, or the dot that's on the island of Andros, Nicholstown. And we're going to try to line up the next part of the paper here on the dot where it is Governor's Harbor. So as you can see, the 0 is lined up already. Let's pull the paper down just a little bit, just a quick slant. I have to do some adjustment very quickly. I'm trying to do this with one hand because I'm holding the phone with the next. The distance in miles between Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera, and Nicholstown, Andros can possibly be 100 and maybe 10 to 115 miles. What will happen if you have to measure the distance between one place and another, but the scale given is too short? For example, let's measure the distance between Nassau on New Providence and Coburn Town on San Salvador. If you notice, the scale stops at 125, but there is still some distance to go. You can take the paper back down to the scale and line up the 125 with the 0. Add 25 at each point. Remember, we are counting in 25s. Continue along until you get to the end, making sure that everything is lined up with the points. Now let's measure. Line up the 0 with Nassau and continue along. Now we can say that the distance between Nassau and Coburn Town is 200 miles. Let's see if you understood the demonstration. It's time for independent practice. Use the map of the Bahamas from any past BJC booklet to find the directions of the following. Number 1, Freeport, Grand Bahama to Nassau, New Providence in miles. Number 2, Georgetown, Exuma to Arthurstown, Cat Island. And number 3, Spring Point, Acklands to Matthewtown, Inagua. This is a perfect opportunity to pause this video as you work independently. I am certain you did a super job. Did you get the same answers as I did? Check the answers below. Remember, the answers may be estimated. Thumbs up. I hope you had a wonderful time learning social studies with me. Remember to study smart and not hard. I'll see you soon.